Welcome to the Doctors on Social Media podcast. Welcome to SoMeDocs. I'm the founder of this venture, Dr. Donna Coriel, a curious internist turned digital entrepreneur. I run this beautiful community and encourage you all to subscribe, engage, and join us at doctorsonsocialmedia.com. The following is a conversation we had with a professional in healthcare, now available to both watch in video or listen to through audio podcast. We hope it entertains, inspires, and ignites conversation. Don't forget to check out our other unique resources on our website, and of course, share this with your friends. Hi, everyone. It's Donna Coriel coming in again for SoMeDocs Conversations. I am so excited to be welcoming Amanda Kaine. She's sitting across from me virtually. Amanda, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, although I'll just tell everybody that this is super special for me because Amanda is going to be a medical student very shortly. So Amanda, can you please let us know a bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Amanda. I graduated, I'm a Floridian all my life. So this will be the first time I'm moving out of the Florida very soon. I graduated undergrad in 2022. I'm about to graduate with my master's this Thursday, so very exciting. I'm actually doing a linkage program at Touro College of Medicine, and I'll officially be starting medical school subsequently next year at Touro upon doing well. And I'm very excited to do this with you, and I'm excited to talk.
Amazing. So first of all, thank you for hopping on this show. You and I met separately, and you're going to be working with SoMeDocs, and it's going to be so amazing. I can't wait to sort of follow your journey. You're already inspirational in that you've shared your story with us in an article. And so if you're watching this without having read Amanda's first article, I should say, you should absolutely give that a go and read it. But we are going to actually focus in this episode about Amanda's article. I'm going to actually share the screen and take you through some of it because we have questions for Amanda that we want answered. And again, your story is so inspirational and there's so many questions that we have. And I know that it's just the first in a series, but hopefully asking you those questions will actually, jog some creativity or maybe get you thinking out of the box and you can share even more really exciting pieces of the journey that you've had. So first of all, are you excited to become a doctor?
I'm so excited. I've worked for this for a very, very long time. I will be the first doctor in my family. So that is other than my uncle, but my direct family. My mom's a teacher, my dad works for the government, so they're very excited to have some medical information. They already asked me about Tylenol and all of the over-the-counter drugs already. So this is going to be a great journey, and I'm really excited.
They're already calling in the favors.
Yeah, already. I already get the calls.
You got to charge them. Hey, listen, I know your family, but this is how much it's going to cost you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And not just monetary, like you can do, it'll cost you hanging out with me for a day. I don't know. All right. Let's actually share the screen. I want to take everyone to the actual article that you wrote. So first of all, I take basically I basically allow myself to go wild sometimes when I take on my artistic pursuit. So apologies to you if you do not find this artistic and flattering, but I think it's amazing because you're such a beautiful.
No, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how she did this because it's so cool. I sent it to my mom. I was like, I've never seen anything like that. Like, what app do you use? Like, what is that?
Yeah, so I use a combination of apps for all of my art. I use a combination of just off the top of my head. I use Canva, I use Snapseed, wait, what's the name of it? Premiere. No. I use Photoleap. But I use all kinds of apps to sort of like get a picture looking differently than what it originally looked like. And again, I really try to infuse artistic nuances into photos to make them
very artistic. So I appreciate that you you reacted kindly to it. Not everyone does.
No, it's so cool. I love
I
it.
also think so. I really do. And again, maybe on another article, it'll be a different version of you. But usually um, I do put up like cool pictures that I don't create. But this one I specifically created and I really love
Oh,
it. So
awesome.
yeah, so it's called everyone, it's called You Are Not Alone, An Aspiring Surgeon Overcomes Mountains. And again, as it says here, it's the first of a series that she's writing, aiming to a target audience of pre-medical and medical students, which is amazing because we've opened up a student section of SoMe We've got such a thriving section of doctors in SoMe We have a directory filled with profiles of doctors that we want to also make sure that we now bring in the students and we can slowly sort of build mentorship and guidance that the students may want to have outside of their immediate um, academic centers. The beautiful part of this is that you can connect someone from the West Coast with someone from the East Coast, and you could do things outside of the academic setting, which could be beneficial to you that you don't normally get. So I'm so excited, and I want everyone to really to read this, but we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to ask you, Amanda. So you talk about having seen the dark. Um, can you tell us about what you mean by that and what the dark is to you?
Yeah. So I titled the article "You're Not Alone," specifically for exactly that purpose, because I feel like when you're so deep into studying and when you're doing all these things, sometimes you feel like you're so alone. And it's sometimes so hard to know that there are other people that are struggling out there as well. And mental health, I think, even now more than ever, is so important, and to take care of yourself. And I say that to all my friends and everybody around me because a lot of people will almost drown themselves in work and not remember to eat or not remember to go to the gym once a day if they want to, or do something for themselves. Um, and sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough. It's like you're not able to see the light, you don't see the direct immediate results, and especially in medicine there's not that immediate gratification because you're working for this goal for years. And if you don't see like, oh, automatic A or automatic acceptance, like it feels like you're not doing enough and that there's no light at the end of the tunnel. So I wanted to include that, just to have other people sort of relate to it and know that they're not the only one that could be struggling at some times, and there is light. You just have to keep going, and there's other people that are here to support you.
And you then go on to say, and I have come to now be able to see the light. It takes time. First of all, it reminds me of a Disney movie, a Disney song. Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
Yeah,
Right?
I a little bit, yeah.
I think it's from
Especially as a
Tangled.
Floridian in the going to Disney all my life.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And it reminds me, I think it's a song from Tangled, but I love the song. It's with a male voice and a female voice, and they talk about seeing the light, and it just gives me goosebumps when I hear it. It's so beautiful. I grabbed a little section of it and I'm placing it here as a little teaser. And it's like so yeah, so thank you for that imagery. We all strive to to allow our readers to kind of um, think of whatever they can think of, whatever that triggers in our reader is sort of their experience in reading our writing. So what was your light? Like what made you come out of the dark and see light?
I think I mentioned it a little bit later in the article, but I really think the importance of balance in life is so important. And I think that's really hard to find as a student, and even as a pre-med and then a med student and then even as a doctor, it's very difficult to like sort of strike that, and almost giving yourself like, nope, I'm done for the day, or nope, this is what I have to do. And I think that has allowed, and even saying yes to things. I think when I was in college, I always said no. I always said, nope, I'm not going to go out today. Nope, I'm not going to see you. I have to study. I have to do this. And I wasn't able to see the light because I was just in my room and I was just studying, and that was my life. And now that every opportunity I get to go do something fun, I'm yes, 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 like let me do it. And I think that's allowed me to kind of see the light in life, and that there's so much more to life than just medicine too. And it's important to have that and have other things. So when you do get burned out, you can go do other things. And I think that's really important.
Wow, Amanda, I love that. Love, love, love it. Let me tell you specifically why. Because as a physician, I'm hobnobbing with many, many other physicians that are so busy in life, and we're constantly hearing how important it is to say no. How important it is to say no and to really,
Right.
right, to close
And
yourself.
that's what you're taught. And, like, and even as a student, we're like, no, say no to these opportunities so you can be able to do well in school and thrive. And I've learned like almost to oppose that, because when I was living like the no, 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 I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I was suffering almost. And now I'm saying yes to every opportunity, and I feel like I'm so much happier.
Oh, I love that. Love, love, love it. I've experienced a similar thing. I mean, I've also experienced learning to say no, because you can sometimes take on too many things, but
Yeah.
but saying yes to things and taking on opportunities that you're just not sure where they're going to take you is so rewarding, and I really praise you for it. And I hope that anyone that's listening that maybe is a younger generation pre-medical medical student, they can listen to you and they really can expand their minds a bit. That's one of the reasons I started the student section of So Me Docs, really is to show students that there's more, not only that there is more than just the medical path, but that sometimes we're burning out in our adulthood. We're burning out because we didn't embrace the mores. So here's to embracing more mores. Someone in the younger generation recognizing it. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing I am going to ask you is the following. You wrote about right here about battling test anxiety, right? I'm writing this piece and now series to provide my insight and share my story on how I battled test anxiety. Um, can you tell us what you mean by that? And also maybe if you have sort of overcome test anxiety and maybe some tips.
Yeah. So I like to be very transparent with my story and share everything that I've gone through so it can help other people and help other pre-medical students, who are people in high school who might want to go to medical school. I think it's really important to passing the knowledge down and helping other people along the way. In college, I think that I was okay with testing because I was just memorizing information and kind of like spurting it out onto the exams. And that's how I got a really good undergraduate GPA. But when it comes to the standardized testing, I had severe anxiety. And with the MCAT specifically, I really, really struggled. And I took it multiple times, and I continued to do poorly. And that's why I did a master's program with my test anxiety and to kind of figure out how to take exams. And I think now I'm at a really good place with taking exams because of my master's program and all of the resources I've learned throughout the way and they've given me, which I'm so grateful for. But I think the biggest thing is don't get, I know it's easier said than done, but to not get so anxious about an exam and don't like constantly think about it. I think when you have the continuing thought of, oh, I have an exam tomorrow, I have an exam, it just builds upon the test anxiety. And then the second part to that kind of would be while taking the exam. I think it's really important to always go with your first answer. Don't reread your exam 10 times. And I used to do that all the time, and I'd be the last one in the room always. And now I think I have almost diverted away from that. I want to be one of the first ones done, because if I just go one swipe and go with my first answer, I know it, and be confident when I answer my exams. I think that's what really helped me kind of overcome that anxiety. And I think now I'm at a really good place with it.
Okay, wonderful. Now I am going to move forward to the really the part that interests me, and I want to talk about this because it's not often that we see this. So it's the part where you're where you're graduating high school at age 16.
Yes.
I'm a parent. I'm a parent of someone who's 19, but also someone who's 16 and someone who's there. The point is, first of all, how? And then secondly, is this something that you chose or is this something that you were pushed into?
Not pushed into it at all, actually. I also share this story because I think it's helpful to a lot of people. I had a very bad high school experience. I ended up transferring high schools um, due to just I grew up in Parkland and we had a school shooting. So it was very hard for me and I lost a very good friend. And then going to high school the following year was very difficult for me and I was very depressed, very sad. And then I ended up getting really sick and I lost a lot of weight and I had to get a lot of help for it. So then I came back from that and I really overcame a lot. I was in a great place. But then the pandemic hit.
We'll be right back. Take a listen to some of our lineup in our upcoming private practice virtual
I'm
conference.
going to talk to you about lease negotiations and purchase negotiations.
I'll talk about how to prepare, plan, and organize your personal finances when you are starting out on your own private practice.
We're going to talk about how to apply this information to detect and prevent fraud.
This talk is for doctors who are fed up with the overregulation of patient care.
And I'm excited to teach you the ins and outs of how to build a thriving referral network and Facebook group.
And how to build in compliance efforts and strengthen your negotiation tactics. Because I want you to make money and I want you to stay safe.
I'm really looking forward to talking with you about creating and retaining a high-functioning team.
About the psychological and emotional things that undoubtedly come up as you reach certain barriers.
Marketing yourself as a professional in the world of today.
Form a virtual corporation and use your practice skills in a virtual environment that allows you to thrive without having to worry about managing overhead, managing a staff, or even managing a building.
Top mistakes in credentialing and those key metrics you're going to want to monitor in order to increase your revenue in your practice.
How to overcome your fear and move from your medical practice now into a private practice.
I'll share 3 distinct skills that when you use them, you can create and maintain a long-lasting, passionate marriage while becoming a very successful practice owner.
My talk called Creating a Vision and Applying It to Build Your Practice is going to help you streamline your process and create the practice of your dreams.
Stop trading the value you provide to patients for cost.
I'm going to teach you how to learn your value and your worth, how it is you get paid and what you actually cost, and how to train your sniffometer and know when to leave.
You can catch this event live for free or access the footage after it's over anytime by purchasing a ticket on our website at doctorsonsocialmedia.com/conferences. Now back to the show.
I really overcame a lot. I was in a great place. But then the pandemic hit and we were all online and I was like, okay, all of the experiences I've had so far and having undergone all these health problems, I was like, I want to be a doctor. I actually was going to join the military and I was either going to go to med school or join the military. And I almost signed the documents to go and sign my life away. But then I was like, no, wait, I want to go become a military doctor. So I decided, okay, let me start college now at 16. And I ended up taking 9 classes my last semester. Like I graduated 2 years early. So I was in like 9 classes at a time during my junior year. And it was crazy, but it was also online. So I think that gave me a bit of like leverage. And then I went to college and my first college class was also online. And then finally we were in person and that was great for me socially because I also got to move out and I was also very young in college. So I was I was like 16 to 18 in college because I did college very fast. And I ended up taking like 22 credits per semester in college, like really grinding it out because I was like, I want to be a doctor. I know this is a long journey. And then I got to the end and I was like, wait, I'm not ready to go to medical school. I'm 18. And and I got that advice along the way and I was like kind of blinding. I was like, no. Like this is what I want. Like I'm going for what I want. And then I was like, okay, let me take my time. So I'm in my gap years now and I've been in gap years for 2.5, almost 3 years next year. And I ended up working for EMS, I worked for fire, and they've been the best years of my life. And I say every college student should take at least 1 gap year before medical school because just going straight through is, you can, of course, if you do the prerequisites, etc. But I think it's really helpful to like gain experience in the hospital or gain experience on in a fire station, like learning that life and see if you want to go that route. Like you have to explore life, and I think that's really important to take your time.
Wow, that really speaks to me because I gave an actual talk at a conference. I think it was Dr. Erica Howe's conference. Um, that was exactly about that, that I believe that medical professionals we should encourage medical professionals to take gaps of some sort. I'm someone that didn't initially. I went straight through. And I think that that was really, I mean, I was fine. I was happy, but when I actually did take a gap well into my attendinghood, right, when I was already a physician, I suddenly discovered that, whoa, like there is so much more to life than just science and medicine and the human body, right? And it like,
Yeah.
I really, truly, truly believe that it made me a better person and it made me a better doctor.
Oh yeah. I really I do encourage it. Like I took 6 months without any school, and although mentally I felt like I wasn't doing enough because you're just in that mentality as a pre-medical student, I think I've learned more about myself in those 6 months than I ever have ever. And just like being working at the fire station and like getting that life, like it showed me like, wow, this is a great life, but I want to be a doctor. But so it gives you that kind of confirmation too of like, is this what you really want? And then working in the hospital and like getting that experience, I think is so important. So when I see people apply without any medical experience, I'm like, why do you want to be a doctor? Like you have to have some sort of, not just, oh, I was born and into this almost. And I think that it's so important to take that time and like really discover your why and like why medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're definitely wise beyond your years. And I appreciate this conversation significantly. So you wrote here in this quote, I graduated high school at 16. I graduated college at 18. I was the youngest in every class and was deemed to be a baby throughout most of college. And many did not want to associate with me because of that. That's really powerful. I mean, it sounds like I'm picking up on pain.
Yeah, I think it was really hard for me to almost find friends in college, partly because I was so focused on school and really tried to get straight A's and do my best academically. But the other big part was because of my age. And when I told somebody, yeah, I'm 17, they were like, oh, I don't want to be friends with a 17-year-old. So I really did struggle on that aspect of social and finding my people. Luckily, I had very two close friends in college, and I'm still in contact with them. And actually, one of them's in Pennsylvania, and I'm moving to New York, so it's going to be great. But it was very difficult for me to have like a friend group and have those people to go to when I needed them. So I did sort of feel alone in college.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. I went to college, that was eons ago because I'm a dinosaur, but when I went to college to undergrad, it was at UCLA. And I remember that there was a guy who was just like you. He was, we used to call him Doogie Howser. I don't know if you're familiar with
That's what
Doogie.
I got all the time.
Right, exactly. His name was Rishi Desai, and he actually ended up becoming a physician, an infectious disease expert. I think he even worked for the WHO, but the WHO. But yeah, I mean, but we were friends with him. I mean, he was just kind of one of us. Um, but how sad that, age mattered at that time. Like it just, to me, it just sounds like it was 1 year younger or maybe two than everyone else. Do you think that maturity wise, there may have been a difference?
Um, I mean, sort of. I think that a lot of my friends on the weekend wanted to go to the bar or to go to a party, and of course, I wasn't of age. So I think that also made it play a little bit of a role. And I do think that I was almost very immature for not really having like an understanding of life. And I think that I'm in a completely different, I mean, after taking like the gap time, I think I'm in such a different headspace than I was as a 16 and 17-year-old in college.
And so when all is said and done, would you recommend against the younger generation sort of speeding through that medical process, would you recommend against what you did?
Yes and no. I think the no aspect would be because almost of what I did. Like for me, I'm going to start at 22 anyways. Like it doesn't really 21, but it doesn't really matter. I think that the gap years are really important to be able to find yourself, and there's not a rush on life. And I think that that's a common misperception too. And I had that misconception. Um, I used to think that there was such a rush just because of losing a friend at a really young age. I thought the time was so valuable, and you never know when your last day could be. And that was my mindset. That's why I wanted to do all this so fast, because I was so almost, that was like my why. And that was my, okay, I want to be a doctor like now so I can be able to help people now. And it's about the experience, and that's kind of what I wrote about too. And I think it's more about everything you learn and all the lives that you impact along the way, and that's what really matters.
Yeah, I guess enjoying the process is probably a really relevant quote to add here. So I'm going to read one more quote, and we're not necessarily going to talk about it here. Amanda is going to be writing more articles and hopefully kind of explaining more of that process of where she's at. But the quote goes, "The journey has been so difficult. I flunked the MCAT multiple times. I had to pick myself up over and over again. I got many medical school rejections. I have lost friends and missed out on a lot." And the whole quote is not in there, but it does sound like you have a very long story that you could share. Have you ever considered writing a book?
Actually, I have. I feel like my life has kind of been crazy for like my age. I feel like I've been through a lot, and I have a lot of stories to tell. Um, it has been really hard. Going through something so traumatic at a really young age not only impacted me, it impacted my community, it impacted a lot of my trajectory in life. And I don't think I'd be where I am today if that didn't happen. I think I would have had a completely different outlook on life as well at a really young age. I don't think I would have rushed. I don't think I would have got sick. So I think that, yes, I do want to write a book down the line. Um, but I do advise to enjoy the experience. I think that's something that I want to really um, spread to the world, because it is a really long experience, and it is really hard, and exams are really hard. School is really hard. And you have to find little things and little reasons of like your why to make you keep going. That's why I think the like shadowing and getting the experience is so important, because it reminds you of like, this is why I'm doing this.
Well, you're wise beyond your years, really. I am so happy that you connected with SoMeDocs and you're now a part of us. I can tell you that I can't wait to read more of your articles and the things that you share and any projects that you take on with us. So welcome in that sense. I also can't wait to watch you become a doctor. You are so mature, and I think that, you're going to make a really great doctor. So I appreciate you joining me for a SoMeDocs conversation, and I think there's many more that are going to come in your future.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for listening.